Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Two Girls, One Pod. We had a week off last week, so we just played the best ofs. Well, we didn't have a week off for funsies. We had a week off because I was a shell of a human. But guess what? I'm still a shell of a human, but I'm back.
Yay! And you're looking better than ever. I'm Yvie Jones.
Hello, Yvie Jones. Where are you recording from today?
Always in Wurundjeri country today, all day. What about you?
I'm in Gadigal land still, but very good news.
Soon you'll be back on the mountain. And what's it called up there?
Wangabara land.
That's it. Good girl.
Thank you.
Good girl. Who am I, your mother?
Yeah, I'm a grown-ass woman. Sort your shit out, Jones. Oh, speaking of sorting shit out, it's somebody's birthday this coming weekend.
Well, guess what else? We've been nominated for a podcast award.
So many things.
Let's just talk about that instead.
We have been nominated for a podcast award. We've been nominated for Best Entertainment Podcast at the Australian Podcast Awards. We'll find out the winners on November 21. So if you haven't voted for us, then you probably should.
Yeah, you really should. I mean, if you want to, you don't have to.
Yeah,
because we don't want sympathy votes, and we don't want your vote just because you're our friend. We want your votes if you love our show, if you really do love our show. Otherwise, you know, the other shows, you may love them more. Vote for them. We love a fair competition. So if you think we're good, we would love your vote.
Yeah, I don't mind. I'm happy to get a sympathy vote.
You'll take whatever you can get. AustralianPodcastAwards.com/vote. That's where you can vote for us or whoever you want. It's up to you completely. You know me, Angie, I hate a competition, hate competing, hate contests. Yeah. I love this podcast. You know I do, and I'm in it because I love talking to people, and I love that somehow every week we just have these beautiful messages that, you know, they've touched someone. I get the most beautiful messages from you listeners, and I absolutely love hearing that, oh, I'm walking along and you made me laugh. You really made my day, or I've had a bad day and I got home this afternoon and I was listening to you in the car and, oh, you just brightened me up. And it's like, this is why I do it. That's why I do it. There's my podcast award. That's all I need. What about
you? You're so sweet. Yeah, same. I don't care about awards. God, I can't even think of the last time I've won an award, but it would be nice to win one. I mean, I'm not going to lie. But again, the same. I really love when people just say g'day and thank you, or just open up a chat about something that they feel they can't speak about with their mates. So thanks, guys, for listening. Yeah. We do love you.
You know, what you and I do so much of the time is look at Audie.
Dancing dog. I'm a dancer and you're a dancer.
Dancer. You know what you and I do a lot of the time? We watch TV, streaming. We stream the shit out of life, don't we?
Oh.
And you know what I've always thought, and I've never done it? Sharing my streaming services with friends. And now it's too late. Netflix are going to charge you to share your password. So too late on that one, too little too late. Netflix was a pioneer in streaming TV and movies. Oh, I remember when Netflix first came out and they came in the mail. You get up to 5 discs at a time and then you had to send them back whenever you wanted. There was no late fees.
Oh,
and then they send your next 5 on the list.
That's so cool.
Do you remember that?
No, I only remember like video stores, like Easy, whatever it's called.
This is between
Video Easy
and Blockbuster. This was kind of between when the video stores were starting to really go under and the internet was taking off. So the internet hadn't quite gotten into streaming yet, but the video stores hadn't either finished up. But Netflix was the very first one to start, and it was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was a subscription service. It cost you like $10, $15 a month, and you could put a list. You'd go onto the internet and you'd make your list. You could also do it by pencil and pen on a piece of paper and send that to them. Yeah, but they would go through your list. Anyway.
So how do I not remember this? That's wild.
So anyway, the monthly subscription cost has been rising consistently over the last few years for Netflix.
Netflix.
and the subscriber numbers have been dropping. So what has Netflix done? They've announced plans for a basic with ads membership.
Ew.
That one will cost you only $6.99 a month and include an average of 4 to 5 ads per hour. That's just an instant, immediate no from me.
And they're 15 to 30 seconds each, the ads. They're not quick fives. They're not those quick 5-second ones that you get on like 10 Play and 9 Now or whatever.
Which you're
they
not
are
paying for, by the way.
You're not paying for. It's freebie. It's a 30-second. It's like a mini movie.
If Foxtel does that, Binge does that, they make you watch ads even though you're paying already. So it's just the way of the future. It makes me so angry. Yeah, Foxtel only shows 1 or 2 really quick ads. Nothing in
Binge
between.
doing
It's
it.
only between. Well, Binge is Foxtel. That's the streaming service. And I don't have that because I've got Foxtel.
How come you have
Illegally.
Foxtel? Oh,
Because
okay,
I
cool.
use Isabel Silbury's download. Remember? Her
Yeah, I
subscription.
used to use it too, but she, you know how you have a limit, so I got
Yeah.
kicked off.
It was her husband. I just know it. He was kicking you off. It would never be
Yeah.
Isabel. She never watches it. I can see what she's watched. She can see what I've watched. They're writing to Game of Thrones at the moment. Anyway, she listens to our podcast religiously, so she's going to absolutely love that. Netflix are also cracking down on password sharing, charging an extra fee to users who are found to be sharing passwords. So this is where it comes back to me saying we should have done this ages ago because then we could finally stop doing it. But I pay for a lot of subscriptions. So do you, don't you?
No, I
Okay,
use lots of
good.
other people's passwords.
Well, at time it's cracked down on you then, so suck a fart.
I'll really miss it. I'm not going to lie about that. I've been very lucky in my life. I mooch off my mum, my auntie Shaz, Robert,
moocher.
Nicholas Mellish. I've mooched off a lot of people in my time. I do pay for Hey You and Binge. That's the only 2 I pay for.
Hey,
And Apple TV.
Yeah.
So I do pay for quite a
they're
lot.
cheap.
Yeah.
I just did the Disney 3 months. It was $1.99 every month for 3. It just went up to $13.99.
Yeah, it's
And
gross.
I'm like,
See,
cancel. Bye-bye.
I can't bring
I don't
myself
need it.
to pay for Netflix or Disney. I just can't. I'm like, I'd rather live without it.
And you can live without it. You know what I've started doing instead? Reading a
What?
book.
Oh, wow.
Reading
Go
a
off,
book.
sis.
You know how I have a little office in my house? Like, it's just that little office in the corner. It's
Yeah.
just a desk. It's just a desk.
With a laptop
Well,
stand.
Yeah, with a laptop stand. Well, I got rid of that and I've put in a bookcase and I redid all my books. I got all my books out because all my books are everywhere. They're like some are on my bed, some are in the kitchen, some are on the lounge. I got them all and I did them in the colour coding and it looks really good. And I put a really comfy chair there and a footstool and I've made it a nook.
Do you actually sit there and put your feet up and read?
No, not yet. But I'm thinking about it.
See you sitting there doing that.
Well, I'm going to take a photo of myself doing it and send it to you.
Book selfies. Call
And
them
you know
book
what?
selfies.
I can see Netflix going down even more from this decision. I don't think they're going to regret this for the rest of their lives. And then I think they'll change it back to normal.
I don't care what they do. They just need to stay out of my goddamn way.
Right now, I'd like to talk to you about the TikTok trends that the kids are listening to and watching on the TikToks on their iPhones and their Android phones and their pocket phones and their fax machines and all of the things.
Okay. Please go on, Nan.
At any rate, the TikTok's trends that are quite liked at the moment, where the ones that's text to talk and it sounds like someone's just reading out like they're a robot. Well, anyway, there's this one TikTok that I was looking at, which I really liked. I thought it kind of triggered me and made me laugh at the same time, which is, I thought you would find this interesting. What is your childhood memory that you thought was normal but then realised once you were grown up that it was actually quite traumatic?
I've got a few examples for you. So
Okay.
have a listen to the first one.
All right.
I love this TikTok guy. Just, that voice.
Let's do it.
Every time my dad would pick me up from school, he'd leave me in the car for 3+ hours whilst he went into the local pub and got drunk. Nothing to do. Just sitting there in the car. He'd come back after the few hours had passed and throw me a bag of chips as he started the car. I always thought I was the luckiest boy in the world to be getting those chips.
Oh, that one broke my heart. Like that. I mean, that's not funny.
That's full bare minimum daddy. That's full we get the
Worst.
love that we think that we deserve because that's all we got. That's so happens.
Yeah.
That's such an Aussie, old school Aussie thing, like my parents' age thing to do. Mum said that would happen to her all the time. You get a packet of chips and a can of Coke and you just play in the car park.
Oh,
You're
my
like,
God.
see you soon.
Yeah, I imagine when casinos or just pubs in general, all across the world, like in America, there'd be kids in car parks all over the place.
It's always in the
especially-
movies.
Yeah, it's so heartbreaking. And if you didn't know that wasn't normal, that's your normal. That would be awful.
You'd be like, my dad's the best. I got chips tonight. Yeah, what did you do to get those chips? Waited in the car for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the luckiest boy.
It'd be all right if you had a friend or a sibling, but imagine if you were just on your own.
I would have given my left arm for my mum to leave me alone for 3 hours and give me a packet of chips when I was a teenager or a kid. Bloody get off me, Jane. Leave me alone.
I was the complete opposite. I would have given my left arm just for my mum to be beside me for my entire life.
I know you would have.
Obsessed. Okay, listen to the next one. This one is really heartbreaking.
As a kid, I used to brag about being able to sleep for over 24 hours straight to friends or teachers or really whoever would listen. I was mid-sentence mentioning it as a freshman in college when I realized my divorced father was drugging preschool me with cold meds so I'd sleep through his weekends of custody with me.
Oh my God.
I imagine that would be happening also quite a lot. Divorced parents, when it's dad's turn and he's not wanting to look after his kid, he would just be giving them a bit of cough syrup.
That
knocking
is
them out.
so cooked. You know what would happen a lot still even now. There's new melatonin for kids, right? And it's way safer than whatever that dad was giving his kid. But these mums go on benders and then they can't stand the kids squawking when they get them back, that they're like, here, have a melatonin. They're not actually using it for what it's needed. It's just so your kid chills the fuck out so you can have a really nice come down.
Yeah, I imagine
so
it would be happening
bad.
a lot. There's a lot of parents who take uppers and party drugs that have children that
And
I
then you just
imagine it would
can't
be
deal.
happening a lot. Yeah, can't deal.
That's actually so traumatizing that all this is coming out.
This is why I was so glad that when my brother had children, the children would spend every single weekend at my parents' house, their grandparents' house. They had the time of their lives. But it also meant that my brother and his wife would go out every single weekend and be able to sleep in every single weekend. So it was it made
living the
everyone
dream.
happy. But that's how it should be. So many cultures raise their grandchildren. And for some reason, we are not big on that. And, it's the same reason we don't have those same parents living in our homes when they age. We have this weird thing. So I don't think we should be shaming parents who go out and have a big night out and then can't handle the kids in the morning. But make sure the kids are taken care of properly. Make sure they're living a really great childhood. And get into it, I say, Get
into it. If your
double
kids-
drop and go to Revs if you want. I don't give a shit.
double drop.
Go to Revs. That's Revolver for non-Melbourne folk. Okay, last one. Well, another one for you. This one is actually a bit heartbreaking.
My older sister used to play our Disney read-along tapes to my younger brother and I, whilst guiding us through the words in the books. She taught us to read this way. I didn't realize till years later that she was using the tapes to cover the sound of our parents fighting downstairs. It saddens me that she never had to have a childhood.
Oh, that
She
would
never
happen
got to have a childhood.
so much.
So much.
Isn't it amazing, as a kid, you put yourself first to create memories that are better than your ones for your younger siblings? She He remembered it like, oh, she'd read us stories, and she's remembered it like, well, I'm reading the stories out loud, so you can't hear mum and dad fighting.
Yeah. Yeah, and he realises later. But
Yeah.
imagine that realisation later in life that your house was a bit of a battlefield and you just thought that was really normal, or you didn't know what was going on, or I don't know. I had a really explosive father and I just thought that was kind of normal in most
think a lot of people
households. And
do.
it wasn't until I went and had sleepovers at friends and you would see them yell at their dads. And I would be like, oh, he's about to go off. He's going to go off. And, I'd be bracing and it wouldn't happen.
Nah.
So it's awful. That was kind of my realisation later. Oh, my realisation, because I grew up in a renovated house. So I just assumed that was normal. Everyone just grew up in a house that was a bit of a...
half done.
Yeah, half built.
I would like to share mine, but I don't think my mother would talk to me, so I can't really share any of my ones.
Well, that's okay.
Sad one.
To.
No.
What's your algorithm showing at the moment?
My algorithm is mostly lesbians, just bulk lesbian dramas. I've looked at a few and now it's just lesbian after lesbian after lesbian. That's all it is. I know about frickin' JoJo the dancer with her new friggin' girlfriend that broke up with the other friggin' girlfriend and everybody was bloody cross about it. That's my TikTok feed. And it's like I'm living in the letter L word world.
So, did you watch that show?
Yeah, not a lot of it. I watched like the first 2 or 3 seasons. I need to get back into it because it's got my name written all over it. I was so in love with the masked lesbian. What was her name?
Oh, my God. Do you know that's Gwyneth Paltrow's cousin in real life?
Oh, she's so hot. Like,
so hot.
I would seriously just
me
do
too.
anything.
And I'm not even gay in any way, but I would with her.
And it's just made me realise how...
Catherine Groening.
Is that her name? Mm. Yeah, it just makes me realise how much I just love watching that. Like, I would never sit and watch men and woman drama. I do on TV, but on TikTok, or like men fighting with men, or just like hot couples doing hot things. So I'm just a big lesbian. Let's face it. It's wild, and I'm addicted to the drama. Like I know about it. I'm invested. I'm like, oh my God, how is she going to respond? It's like my own little queer world on the TikToks.
Wonderful.
It's pretty much all I watch now.
Send me some.
Yeah, I will. And then I just watch my crush's TikToks on repeat too, pretty much now. It's my favourite thing to do.
Who's your crush?
I'm not going to say her name.
Do you just watch them on repeat?
Well, like she does new ones all the time.
Okay, you can send them to me too if you like.
I will send them
Maybe I'll
to
get a crush.
her.
We'll talk about this at another point in time, but you know the new show, The Challenge? I just wanted to ask quickly, since we're talking about this kind of attraction, what do you think of the host of that?
They are so hot.
Because I think that's right. That person is right up your alley.
Oh, so hot. Like, they're married. Brian is married. Yeah, they're married.
I didn't know that.
But right
I'm
up,
gonna look
like
them up.
right up my alley. I would not be hooking up with any of the cast. I would just have been staring at Bryony the whole time.
That's us for this week. Not this week, just for today. Just for today, we've got another episode that you can listen to in about 2 days. So what I say to that is we'll be back. We'll be back in your ears. Please head to Apple Podcasts and rate and review the show if you want to, just like our podcast awards. If you want to, please do. We would love it if you did. You can get in touch with us directly by emailing the podcast or Angie on 2girls@novaentertainment.com.au. Don't forget to follow Nova Podcast Officials on Instagram. And we love you so much. And I just spat all over my computer. Oh my God, there's a massive piece of spittle sitting on my trackpad that is one of the biggest ones you've ever seen. I'd just like to say you are so lucky right now, Angela Bernice, that we are not in person.
Laser spit. I miss them. Well, on that note, thanks for listening, and I just hope that you have the day that you deserve. Bye now.